Gotta ask somebody different a question each time. Just randomly pick people.
Okay. Pick you.
Okay.
What was the basic concept for the band? Yeah.
De-evolution, reverse evolution. Which is basically it's just scientific. Science proves it out. Second law of thermodynamics states that all things go from complex to simple states constantly. Everything's always breaking down. In the beginning was the end, and from the moment you're born, you're dying. That's what we based our music on.
So you're saying at the beginning you were complex, and now each time you're getting more simple.
That's what that's where it gets by the end of the music. And that's what we're representing. We're like, instead of wait a minute, you were supposed to ask somebody else the second question.
In the beginning we were complex, and then we became simple.
And we're all simple now.
If you listen to individual parts in any of the songs, any of the instruments will be doing real simple, fairly repetitive patterns. It's only when they're put together that anything emerges. Any one of the parts is almost senseless without the others. There's no kind of indulgent solos and stuff like that. It's not expressionistic like jazz or like Mahavishnu kind of stuff. It's all tight, short songs as opposed to long songs.
Yeah, we're probably closer to like the Ramones than Yes, because like bands like that indulge like Yes, they just like they get into like multiple layers, like throwing on a lot of instruments over top of each other, and we're into like just making each piece important and relate to each other rather than a lot of bullshit.
Is your music like based on the Kinks music of the '60s, like the Kinks and the Beatles and stuff like that? Most of the riffs.
No.
That one song sounds like a Led Zeppelin song. Did you influenced by that? It was
sound like East Mountain House.
Oh, all our influences are everything. Like TV, but other rock bands too. Yeah. And controlled. Yeah, K-Tel ads. Some of the best music is on commercials. Like Max Packs commercials and stuff like that.
A Blockhead, the ad for the Sinarest.
Yeah.
The sinus medicine that prompted Blockhead.
I have a question. Who was the first guy to make up the band? Who started the original idea of DEVO?
Bob Lewis.
Jerry, and then Mark.
Yeah, it was
the next person.
It's kind of like what happened is these guys, they were like, they had a lot of
ideas and no talent.
A lot of ideas and no talent, and I had a lot of talent and no ideas. No, that's not true either. No, we were art students and had nothing to do, and somebody asked if we wanted to play at a creative arts festival about 5 years ago. We said yes. So we
put together a band in 3 days for the first performance.
Is this the original band?
Bob, all except for the drummer and
drummer's
the
different.
singer.
Different, Bob wasn't with us for the very first time, but he's been around for a long, since everything, most of the important stuff.
And then last fall, when everything was kind of low, Alan appeared, and we had a drummer, and then everything started to happen again, started to crank up.
Are you guys thinking about going to New York?
Yeah, we'll probably be in New York this summer.
So you're gonna play like CBGBs?
CBGBs and Maxes.
And we're supposed to record an album in April or May in Cleveland. That audio recording.
What do you think about the Akron, as far as punk rock, and your kind of music, is it really dead or is it starting to come around?
Well, like disc jockeys we've talked to, what did Sky have to say?
Sky had to say this is going to be the next New York, this area. He's real hot about it. People at WKDD are real excited about what's happening. Like the Crypt is featuring a lot of original bands, and now some clubs in Kent say they're going to start having all original bands, and there's places in Cleveland, the Pirates Cove, and other places that are going to start having original bands. So maybe things will start to happen because of that.
I heard rumors of something like a cultural exchange between like the Crypt and CBGBs. Is that possible?
Yeah, that involves money, which the Crypt doesn't have right now. That's the only thing stopping that. If there, if more people knew about the Crypt, I think they'd get into it. That's what Sky said. He said he gets a lot of calls. He says they've sold 10,000 albums in this area for television in just the last month. and it's all, you know, like he's the
He's the
only
only person playing it.
he's the only disc jockey playing it, and like he gets people calling in and asking for like Iggy Pop and Bowie, and you know, a lot of that into the
It
spectrum.
seems as though
people knew that
the audience is ahead of the media here. You know, they're ready to have that kind of stuff, and there's no place they can get a hold of it.
Do you think like that the radio stations have a lot to do with the airplay you receive? Will have a lot to do with your success?
If we could get on AM, I think it'd really help a lot. You know, AM right now is so conservative, it's ridiculous. But if we could get on AM, I think it'd be a hit.
What do you think about like the bars in Cleveland? Have you ever been up there? But, you know, is it?
Yeah, we played Pirates Cove. I don't know, what kind of bars do you mean?
I mean, like, is there any kind of bars like the Crypt up there?
Pirates Cove and Outside In.
Yeah.
They're the only two
Fantasy,
places we
maybe.
Fantasy. They're the only ones we know of in Cleveland. Most of the other clubs are all, you know, like if they let original bands play, it's all that stuff like Eastman. It sounds like everybody else. It just sounds like a original version of Bach or something. You know? No new ideas.
What do you think of bands like that have been coming out of New York right now, like the Ramones and Dead Boys? Not the
Better than stuff coming out of West Coast. I mean, you know, television. I'd rather go see television than Iggy Pop and Ramones than go see.
Ramones rather than the Eagles.
Yeah, rather than the Eagles.
Are you still mad at that guy from the Dead Boys when he did to you, New Year's Eve?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we weren't really mad at the Dead Boys. We were like upset with the management of the Crypt more than anything else, and that was just like a personal thing. They were drunk, and we weren't drunk. That's all.
I know they're dancing around, you know.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna do something.
Were you there that night?
Yeah, I was there. And
Yeah, that was a weird. Since then,
was
they came and kissed our ass when we played up in Cleveland because they got free press on it, and so they were like.
Why all of a sudden have you know, there's just a huge amount of press, you know, about the band. All of a sudden you're in the scene, Beacon Journal and Playing Dealer. Why all of a sudden now, you know?
Mainly because we finally found a place where we could play more than like one time.
Yeah, and it's the first time. Yeah, it's the first time. October was the first time that we ever played anywhere. Twice. I mean, we were getting paid to quit after like our first set. We got beer bottles thrown at us, you know, like up at. We played for WMMS disc jockey party once, and that was the most bizarre job most hostile crowd we ever had. I swear to God, those guys. They were throwing beer bottles and wine bottles at us.
Not even empty. These were
Like, which disc jockeys were throwing? Specifically, like Kid Leo?
Who's the guy we really hate? Terry.
Oh, Anastasia.
Anastasia and Steve Leshbaugh and Terry, what's his name? Not Terry. What is his name?
What's that Leo guy?
Kid Leo, yeah. Those are the three people that if we had spud guns, we would have shot them.
They'd be filled with potatoes.
Bad spuds, it would have been cynical.
do you guys have any long-range goals or just live for today as far as your band's concerned?
No, we got long-range goals.
We want to make a full-length movie, have a TV series,
Think big.
and record direct for KTEL, so we won't even have to go through any of the other companies. You know, it'll be right on the KTEL, advertised on Channel 43, and
Have you been promised any airplay for this record here?
Yeah, Katie. Matter of fact, there's two disc jockeys that are like really helping us out a lot, and that's Sky Daniels and Joe Seaton. They've both, you know, like talked us up and just, you know, like helped us, you know, like just even get our names mentioned places. Like when we went to Cleveland recording, they had already heard of us from Sky, from WKED people.
I heard you were going to record on a 24-track studio in Cleveland.
I think it's the only Marine thing, but I'm not sure.
I think the other one has a 24-track, but it's
It's not a computer mix.
You mean like agency?
What?
Are you talking about agency recording?
Yeah. We'll be the audio, and it'll be a superior setup. It'll be the best in Cleveland.
This to record like demos for a record company or a...
Yeah, we'll do an album, and we'll try and sell it to a record company, but we'll also do what we did with the 45, and that's, if we can't sell it right away, we'll just press it ourselves and print it up ourselves and distribute it at least locally. Like the 45, we just got 1,000 of them, and no record company backed us. We'll just we'll just take them to record shops ourselves.
What do you think of like the band called Perubu?
Perubu?
Yeah.
We like them.
They're good guys.
Have they done well with their single? I heard in New York.
I see it around.
In Europe.
France really loves them.
They sell them, their singles in Paris.
What I haven't heard anything very much about the Bizarros. What are they like?
I don't know. We've never seen them. We've only heard their EPs, and I've met Nick, and they got a lot of hype going on with them. I'm curious to see if we'd like to hear them. You ever heard them?
No, except for the EP.
They sound like one side of their EP sounds like Roxy, and the other side sounds like Lou Reed. You've heard it,
I
right?
like to see what
I've heard
Yeah, right.
Most people think Akron's pretty dead, as far as this goes, and they want to accept it, but look like today, they're willing to. Some people are willing to accept it,
Well, what we have to have is places to play, good places to play.
We've heard a lot
And
of
the rest.
people coming from Cleveland now, down to Akron, because they think that Cleveland's dead, as far as accepting anything new like that. So it's coming down to here, like us. They like to play. Peru said they like to play here, actually better.
And people in New York, they all think Cleveland's where it's happening. So,
Cleveland knows he's in Akron.
What do you think? The big reason is those bands go down so well in New York. I mean, the main reason. Most of them are from New York, right? Is that the punk bands right now?
Right, they're burning it out real quick.
They need so many bands there. I think that's part of it. They run them too. They're there 1 week and then they're gone the next. The club owners are making a lot of money, and the bands are maybe selling some 45s, but I don't think any of the bands are really making any money out of it. I think they're getting lifted up and off by the club owners pretty much, but you have to submit yourself to that in order to, to try to get a shot at a record contract.
That's about all the questions I got.
Any last comments?
Everybody.
Thanks, Blair.
Best damn band in all of Spudland. We're the only band that has a vision, and our vision is the only thing that separates us from the goo. And that's what's going to get us out of Spudland. It's well thought out. It works on 3 or 4 levels.
Why do you call Akron Spudland? What connection?
The genetic imperative. Spuds are. Spud is just an all-round term. It's ambivalent. We all eat spuds. We like spuds. At the same time, nobody really wants a spud. They'll eat it if they have to. And spuds just kind of describe all common little taters, like most of us all are. Spuds.
All right. Any other comments? Last quotes I can end the story with.
tell them our 45 will be is available throughout the area. Just have to hunt for it.
To South Akron.
We'll have 1,000 of them printed up, so it'll be enough to go around Akron.
Cars, that's what we're going to figure out.
Again, it's going to be at record stores.
Yeah, we're gonna try. It'll be places we play. It'll be at the Crypt for Positive, and I think it'll be at like Audio Warehouse, stuff like
Community
Community
store.
The record store down Main Street said they'll sell them.
Good.
Record Heroin.
Did you get down where we're going to be playing?
Yeah, that's the only other information. We're playing. Well, we play at the Crypts Fridays and Saturdays. Thursdays we play at Pirates Cove. And I guess unless you're planning on putting something out this weekend, any other places, it's just one-shot stuff to tell you about.
We may be
You
playing
can give us an
outside.
address, we'll keep you constantly posted on our whereabouts.
Yeah.
It's already at their close security.